So the purpose of my speech is to demonstrate to you how to make pinecone owls. I'm credible to speak about this because I did extensive research on the spiritual history of pinecones, as well as spent hours putting together and watching them fall apart. So according to the article, Occult Secrets Behind Pinecone Art, there are many ancient cultures and religions that reference the pinecone as a symbol of eternal life, and therefore you will find them on many spiritual relics and architecture. Today, most people view pine cones as just seeds that fall off the trees, when in reality they are actually organs that hold the reproductive structures of the pine tree. Alright. Okay, so in this speech, I'll give a brief history of the spiritual references to pine cones, and then I will explain to you the materials necessary to make pinecone animals, and last I will demonstrate the steps required to make a pinecone owl. Okay. So the conifer pine tree is one of the oldest trees on the planet. Pine trees do not have blossoms or fruits because they are considered evolutionary precursors to flowers. The spiral spine on the pinecone is spiraled in the Fibonacci sequence, so many consider it as a sacred pinecone. According to the thirdeyepinecones.com, many people view pine cones as a symbol of enlightenment and immortality, and also view it as a symbol of the third eye. And the third eye is just the spiritual idea that you can see further than ordinary sight. According to endocrine.web, the third eye, biologically speaking, is your pineal gland, which is named after the pinecone due to its pinecone shape. Now that I have explained to you the brief spiritual history of pine cones, I will explain to you the materials necessary to make pinecone owls. Right. So the template that I'm using is from Felt and Pinecone Owl Ornaments blog. The materials that they suggest are felt scissors, super glue or glue guns, and pipe cleaners. Instead of using felt, I'm using paper, and instead of using glue, I'm using tape because I felt like it was more convenient. I'm also using googly eyes because googly eyes make them look a little bit happier than just felt eyes. Now that I've explained to you what you need to make a pinecone owl, I'll explain to you the steps to take to make the actual pinecone owl. Okay, so first you print out the template and then cut out all the pieces to it. In the template is 4 teardrop shapes. So what you have to do is take one small teardrop shape and place it on the large teardrop shape so that the edges line up parallel, and then you tape it together. If I can get the tape to stick. Like this. And then you do the same with the second teardrop shapes. The teardrop shapes are the wings, and you can add further detail to them, but for time I'm not going to. Now you have 2 wings. Alright, next you make the face. In the template there are 2 bean shapes that you cut out. You take the small bean shape and you place it on the big bean shape as you did with the wings, parallel to the edges. And once you do this, you have the base of the face made. If I can get it to actually stick right. Okay, so then you take the googly eyes and you tape those to the base of the face. And you center them. However, if you don't center them, then your owl's going to look crazy. So we'll just have them uncentered. So, then you have to take the smallest teardrop shape, which will be yellow. Otherwise, you want your beak to be a different color, and having the teardrop shape facing downward or upside down. If you get a smaller piece. You tape it to the bottom of the bean shape, centered below the eyes. So now you have a beak, and make sure you use smaller pieces of tape so that you don't see it. So beak. Alright. Next you tape, well, you don't have to tape it actually. There's 2 V shapes that come in the template, and the bottom of the solid part of the V-shaped face inward, and you slide them in between the two layers of the, so to beat this off, 2 layers of the bean shapes to add like little eyebrows. If you put them up, it looks happy. If you put them down, then it looks like a really sad owl. We don't want that. Okay, so that's the face. The next step is to flip all the pieces over, and on the back you place a 1 inch by about ½ inch thick piece of paper on each of them with a loop sticking out. That way you can slide a pipe cleaner through it and secure it to the pine cone. So once you have placed the back of it on, you basically, in the center of the pine cone, wrap the pipe cleaner around once, and you attach the wings by folding the pipe cleaner over the little loop that you left in space for it. And you do this to both sides. And to attach the rest of all the pieces, you just wrap the pipe cleaner around the pine cone, and attach all the rest of the pieces the same way. The end result will be like this, and hopefully they won't fall apart. In conclusion, the purpose was to demonstrate to you how to make pine cone owls. First, I talked about the brief history of pine cones and their spiritual context. Second, I explained to you the materials necessary to make pine cone owls. And third, I demonstrated the steps to make a pine cone owl. Looking up quotes online for pine cones is not very easy because all I got was Chris Pine quotes. So I'll leave you with fun facts. According to pineconesplus.com, the Canadian hemlock is the smallest pine cone, averaging 1 inch, and the largest pine cone is the Coulter pine cone, which averages 8 to 16 inches and weighs up to 10 pounds.